Hi there, Release Fire here, so I'm going to talk you through the efforts it took to beat the tape boss here in Paper Mario the Origami King. For me, it was one of the toughest boss fights in the game, so hopefully my tips are going to help you out and help you take the sticky tape boss down. And if they do, drop me a like below. But essentially, the first few rounds are relatively easy to run through, so I'm just moving around the center and then moving this on up to be able to pick up the information card along the way and the chest. So I'll go left at 8, pick up the card, pick up the chest, head on up and then get to the hit pad, and as you can see on the card it tells you that you can damage the casing by using the hammer. So obviously as soon as you get to the hit pad you want to hit it with the hammer as much as possible, and that will essentially crack the casing, and you want to crack the casing entirely to be able to finish it off. And you can see it does a half decent amount of damage but not actually loads to its health bar. And the reality is you won't actually do a great deal of damage to its health bar until you get rid of all the casing. Obviously block its attack after you've had your go and then you're back into having another round. So here I'm going left at 8 and then I'm just spinning the center around to be able to get a place to be able to hit it. So I'll go left at 8, pick up the card, up at 11, left at 11, pick up the ×2 impact, which will help me to break the casing, and then around to the hit pad, and that is another big hit on the sticky tape boss's casing. And as you will have seen on the note around the way, you need to hit it on all 4 corners. So you can see here I'm hitting it in a different place than I did on the last go, and I will continue that process until I finish it off. So again, it goes into an attack, try to block. I didn't quite manage to get the block on that go, so it took quite a big old impact. But I still had quite a lot of health left, so into the next round, and essentially going straight up the middle this time, and taking a right at 8 on the second ring, and then picking up again the little note along the way and a heart, and that will also unlock a chest. And you can see my fire elemental pad is already activated, so I didn't need to get an on switch, and that's why it's so important to get the chests along the way, because they open up all these opportunities to cause extra damage to the tape boss. And you can see by this stage I'd taken out 2 of the corners and slightly damaged the other 2 corners, so I was pretty close to getting all of its casing completely gone. Managed to get in a half decent block and then into the next round. So here just moving this around because I'm going to go left and then up at 11, pick up the 2 times impact, pick up the extra move, and then I'm just going to move around the central ring to give myself a hit pad, which again should give me a chance to do some good damage. So this time I should be able to take out both of the remaining 2 corners with some big hits because I've got the 2 times damage and an extra move. But sadly, that's not the end of the tape boss fight. He's still here, and you've got to take him out in just this tape form, and he uses his crazy tape to tape up the board, which makes it incredibly difficult to get in the moves that you want to play. I spent a lot of time thinking through these moves, so I'm going to go right at 8, and then that'll take me up at 6, but I was hoping to get the information notepad along the way, so just spinning around the 3rd ring, and that will take me up to go right at 6 at the very top, and then just looking to play myself in with the chest, but you can't move it beyond the central area when it's got a tape on it, so I didn't have that opportunity. And then that'll take me to the hit pad where I can get in some more hits. Sadly, they weren't effective because I tried to use the shiny fire flowers, which just go right through the middle, so don't do that. I also later on tried the jump move, and that didn't work either. I think the only thing that works on it in terms of impact at this stage might be the hammer, but I didn't actually get to try it because I got a better process in the end, and I'll take you through that in a little second. However, the process is contingent on picking up the chests along the way, so that's my plan in this round. I go left at 8, and that'll take me up at 10, and then left at 10, pick up the note which says to use the 1000 fold arms to grab the tape, and then I'll continue on over to the left and then up to the chest, and then take a left when I get to the central ring and around to the hip point. Now here I tried to use the flashy boots, but that didn't work. However, the most important thing is that I picked up the chest, which unlocked the pads, which will allow me to do damage in the next round. And the good news is that everything was set up for me at this stage, so I only needed to move the central ring around to give me the 1000 fold arms pad at number 4 in the middle. So I go left, pick up this little note again, which I've already read in the previous round, up and to the left, pick up the on switch, and then up to the 1000 fold arms tab, and here is where you get to do the most damage, and this will take it well past the halfway point. So you just grab it with ZL and ZR, and then you lift your controllers up to spin it on around and smash it down, and from here you'll be able to pull out loads of the tape. So you just pull backwards towards you repeatedly as often and quickly as you can, and you can see that took a huge chunk of its health off, and that led into the next round where I'm planning to move this outer ring around to be able to pick up the on switch at the 9 position and the heart at the 10 position, the chest at the 11 position, and that'll bring me all the way around to 3 o'clock where I'll come on up and pick up the 5 elemental pad, and this will do a good chunk of damage, but more importantly it'll clear out all of the previous round's tape dispenser kind of marks across the board, so it'll clear all of those out of the equation, which will make it a lot easier to go into what should be your final round against the tape boss as soon as you're able to get rid of these. It does put more tape down in the next round, but it's nowhere near as much and nowhere near as complex as it is here. The other thing with the final round, once you use the fire, is that the board setup is a little bit easier, especially seeing as I've been picking up chests along the way. So essentially I'm going to go left at 8, and then that'll take me around to 11 to come up and to the left, pick up the on switch. So then I just need to move the central ring around, which will then give me a route up at 4 and then to the 1000 fold arm pad, which will allow me to get in my big move. So I was trying to repeat the same process as before. I grabbed it and flipped it, but you can see it kept on kind of letting go. So I had to press and hold ZL repeatedly to be able to get the move perfectly, and that was enough to finish it off. And that is how to beat the sticky tape boss fight here in Paper Mario the Origami King. Hopefully the tips help you out. If they do, drop me a like below. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already with the links on the left hand side, and check out the rest of my guide and walkthrough series for Paper Mario the Origami King with the links on the right hand side. Leave any comments, let me know how you get on against the sticky tape boss, and I will catch you next time.